Hello Digimon Tamers, I got 6th place in the most recent Ultimate Cup, so I wanted to make this video because, at least for me, it was helpful watching other people's deck profiles as I was constructing and editing my own deck. So hopefully this video is helpful to others building 3 Great Angels. So yeah, I could start up with the Digitama. So for my deck, I chose to go with the 4 Tokomons and also the 1 Cupimon. So I really focused on the Tokomon here to give myself more consistency in the hand over consistency in the security with the Cupimon. I felt that I just really wanted to prioritize getting all my pieces in hand, my Diminimons, my blue-yellow Magnamons, and all my aces. Because that'll help me play the game, right? If I don't have the cards in hand, then I can't play the game. I know Cupimon allows me to set myself up in the security, but I found it that there are sometimes I don't even have the card I need to put in the security to utilize Cupimon at its greatest effect. So I went with the Tokomon to ensure that I at least get the cards in hand that I can use to play the game. And just overall, there's so many ways to add cards to your security that eventually the security will have something that works out for you. So I am losing consistency in the security through only going with 1 Cupimon, but I'd rather be sure that I get my pieces through the Tokomon. So that's why I chose the Tokomon. Next up are the rookies. So I went with the 4 Patamon. I think it's arguably one of the best rookies in the game, so that's a easy 4 of. I went with 4 Luxmon. I wanted to ensure consistency in my game, so the Luxmon is a searcher, so that'll help me be consistent throughout as many games as possible. I went with 2 Pillowmons. It's a great floodgate, being able to completely shut down certain decks and disrupt my opponent. And I went with 1 Cupemon. It is helpful to shut off trainings and be able to, annoy and disrupt my opponent. And I felt 1 of is fine. And in total, this is 11 rookies. I tried 10 rookies, but I found myself in certain games just hoping for a rookie. And I think 11 were fine. Next up are the champions, the level 4s. I went with 4 Angemons and 4 Gatomons. These cards are both amazing. Angemon has a lot of utility, doing so many things, deleting a virus, -5 Kang potentially when attacking, and then the on-deletion effect of being able to recover 1 and put it under your security, blowing itself up, or when it's deleted. And the Gatomon, such a good card. When a card is removed from my security, gain a memory. When this card is trashed from the security, if you're lucky or set yourself up, the Angemon will be able to trash this and play this out. Both very good cards, secret rare, SR, just great cards. And for my ultimates, I did 4 of Magnamons, 4 of the Angemon Aces. To me, these are must-haves at 4. This lets you go into a Angel or 3 Great Angel in the security, and this Angemon Ace, if you go into Dimini, you could play out a level 5, and playing this level 5 is ideal, because this card, when you are 3 or fewer security and a card is removed, you'd be able to heal. So Angemon is the healer of your deck, constantly being able to heal, and Diminimon will protect this Digimon. And I also did 2 of the Magnamon Aces. I think this is a really good card. It's a good card similar to the Angemon Aces, a hard play for very cheap at 4, being able to instantly recover. And also I found I went more into the Magnamon Aces instead of the Salamons. I think Salamon And the reason for it is there needs to be a way to go from 0 security to 1 security. Having 1 security is essential to be able to do all the things that this deck wants to do. And I tried out the rookie Salamon as a way to do that, but I found the Magnamon Aces needs less setup, just being able to hard play and recover 1. So you have that 1 security to work with to make your deck function, right? And it's a level 5, so you could just hard play it for 4 very cheaply, and then be able to go into Digimon, for example, or another Ace. Very good card, 10 cards for my ultimates. For the Megas, the level 6s, I went for 4 Digimons. It's the best card and makes the deck function, right? This is the center of the entire deck. So we have 4 of there. We have 4 of the Cherubimon Aces and 1 of the Shadow Seraphimon Ace. So really, Digimon is the absolute defense, the shields of this deck and this strategy. When an angel is removed other than by battle, so one of your opponent's effects, you are able to trash the security to keep it. So this is the ultimate defense of your deck. Cherubimon Ace really acts as the sword and the spear, and Cherubimon is the offense in your deck. It's it being able, if you on player when digivolving, you could play on a body and then minus 4k one of your opponent's Digimon for each body that you have on the field other than itself. So this deck really goes wide. So I've had it where I minus 16, minus 20k your opponent's Digimon, and it's very helpful into Magna X because this is lingering minus DP. So I try to get a board of at least 3 other Digimon with Cherubimon Ace effect, hard play it, put a 4th body on, then minus 4, 8, 12, 16k onto Magna X. When it started their turn, they would be deleted because the minus DP is there and their protection is gone. These 2 are the best cards in the deck for sure, with Agilwomon Ace being the 3rd one, this one being ultimate defense, this being the offense, and also the alliance, being able to swing, tap something else, and then alliance 2 checks. Very offensive card, defensive card, and this is your healer. When you are 3 or fewer security, you're able to recover 1. These are the trifecta of the deck and are very strong. Shadow Seraphi Ace is a very good card. It can get you out of certain niche scenarios with the D-Digivolve 3, and then when blocking, it is a blocker. When attack target switch, such as blocking, minus 5k. Good card. Not as good as Truby Ace. Truby Ace, to me, has to be a 4 of, but the Shadow Seraphi Ace is good at 1. And for the level 7s, we have Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. Just a very good card, being able to minus 5k and just completely shut down your opponent. Just really good card at a 1. For the Tamers, I have 2 of the TKs being able to search your security and then pick a card and then recover 1. And then it sets your memory at 3. Very good card, keep it at 2. And the TK card at 3. This is, I think, a very good card. So my strategy going into the Ultimate Cup is not to swing as much as possible. Don't swing, right? So I really want to keep them at 5 security for most of the game. If I play this one, this gets hit in security and it gets played, your opponent is likely going to try to chip into your security slowly throughout your game. So if you leave them at 5 security and you're at 4 security now, 3 security, 2, right, less than your opponent, you'd be able to gain 2 memory. This works as a really memory setter as well. It's not a memory setter like the TK, right? But if they chip you 1, right? They Ukamon swing, put you at 4 security, hits this, or you play this. If you're less than your opponent, you get 2 memories. So if they leave you at 1, now you're at 3, right? Pairing it with the TK and this, if you're at less security, you're now at the 3 auto set, and then the +2. You're at 5. If you have more, it just becomes very brutal for your opponent. I think these are very good cards, especially if you are going with the strategy of don't swing. You keep them at 5, and they'll be chipping you lower. And this card is the card that I'm happy to drop and pay the cost because it will pay you back. And for the options, we went with 4 yellow memory boosts. Just to up the consistency in your deck, you have to find Digimon. I also really want to see certain cards such as Cherubimon Ace or Angelomon Ace, 4 of to ensure consistency. And Emissary of Hope, a very good card, a 1-cost option card. It also ups your consistency if you don't have it in hand, but you know it's in your security. You need to go into a level 5. Emissary of Hope will get you there, right? If you have a level 4, go into your level 5. If it happens to be the blue-yellow Magnamon Ace. If I can find it here, there you go. Magnamon Ace, if you happen to have a level 6 into your security, then it combos really well. Yeah, Emissary of Hope, really good card. And really, I just keep it here to reduce Digivolution costs if I know something is in the security that I could Digivolve into, and it's a great consistency piece because if you don't have it in hand, and you may have it in the security, it will help you out. And we run 5 TKs in name, so you'd be able to get the recovery +1. And for a 1-cost option, just a really good card. So yeah, that was my deck for the Ultimate Cup. I'm pretty good with this list, but there was a lot of cards that I did consider making this list. I did think of this Kari here from BT8. It is an auto setter just like this one, but it gains you a memory if I add cards to my security stack. I thought it was a good card, but it doesn't have TK in name, and I did want to make sure there was synergy with Emissary of Hope, so I decided not to go with this. That card is especially good with the Revelation of Lights if you want to do that build. But I found the setup. This is a very good card, Revelation of Light, but I didn't really like the amount of setup that it required to get there and really utilize that card. So I decided not to use the Revelation of Light build myself. Other cards I considered, I really wanted to get more level 4s into the deck. I saw one deck list that did top tournament, did use this Angelomon, which I did consider, and I've considered other level 4s, but I just couldn't really justify a 9th level 4. I really do want it to be able to work with the Patamon, make sure there is a level 4 in security by increasing the odds, but I just couldn't find room, so we just had to go with the what I think are the best level 4s for this deck, the Angelomon and the Gatomon. For level 5s, I did consider the Archai Angelomon, but I didn't think this card was any better than Magnamon or the utility of these aces, so I didn't go with any more level 5s. Another fun card is Lucemon, which is an angel. What does it do here? I already forgot. By trashing one card in your hand, your opponent may trash their top security card. If this effect didn't trash, recovery 1. I wanted a way to go through the Mother D deck, and by trashing a card, I could slowly chip into their security, but I decided not to use this Lucemon, mostly because when you go into Cherubimon Ace, the whole strategy is to play this for free instead of paying the cost. But I found myself not wanting to play this card because I wanted to play my level 4s instead to threaten one of my aces, so I didn't really find myself playing out this level 3 as much. It's a fun card, but I couldn't find room for it. Another card I considered was the Salamon, and really it's just to get yourself from 0 to 1 security, but as I already mentioned, I found Magnamon to be the better way to do that, so I didn't go with the Salamon here. Geogreymon, it's not an angel, so it isn't consistent with the deck, but it's a good card when it works, but I found that often it didn't work. I did think of the TK Kari from EX6 that gives barrier, but I just found myself, I didn't really want to pay the cost of 4 whenever I found it. I couldn't find much room for it anyway. When I did run this card, I only ran it as a 1, maybe 2 of, and really I run this card over cards that say start of main phase you have to attack, taunting decks, right? Such as Mother D or Dexterugamon. I don't think that deck gets much play anymore, but it is a good card. But I found myself, I didn't want to pay it, and when I did run it, I didn't run it more than 1 copy, so I wasn't really finding it, so I ended up not using this card. And another card I really wanted to fit in was the TK, the one that is restricted, but only as a 1 of. I found myself, in games, mostly not finding it, right? So I ended up not going with the TK and going instead with the Emissary of Hope, which I think ups the consistency. Instead of 1 of, a 2. I found myself really wanting to find Emissary of Hope through my game, so upping the consistency of finding Emissary of Hope is what I prioritize, and it ups the consistency, while this ups consistency and the security. So I just went with the Emissary of Hope. So yeah, that was my deck profile. Some of the matchups that I went into in the Ultimate Cup were Purple Hybrid, Mirage, Lordknightmon, DBrigade. I did fight the Mirror, 3 Angels, Magnamon X. The one game that I did lose to was the Purple Hybrid Apocalypse build. I found that to be a difficult game for me. They were being able to find their Apocalypse and just milling me out and going to deck out. That's a very strong deck. Props to that player. That was a very strong deck. I did tie against the DBrigade player. That is a very good deck. I love that deck. I used to play it myself, but yeah, just had a really hard time. Props to the player for getting to top 8 in the Ultimate Cup with that deck. Yeah, props to that player. Scariest card was, DCD Bomb. It's a very good card, being able to Digivolve you. And really, this deck has 2 big weaknesses, being Digivolve and minus DP. So the scariest cards going into this Ultimate Cup to me were any cards that Digivolve you, or one that I could think of is I forget what it's called, the Cherubimon option card that minuses DP per color. But that was a very good card. And I did run into it, and it does disrupt the 3 Great Angels game. But either way, yeah, this is my deck profile. And we'll see how often I run it in future events. I think this is a very, very strong deck. But yeah, thank you. Consider subscribing. This is the first video I've made. Yeah, consider subscribing, and thank you. Have a good one.